My name is Chris, and it's pronounced Bajkiewicz. And my family and I are originally from a town called Monroe, Michigan, near Detroit, where actually I met my wife there when we were in high school. We were high school sweethearts and got married way back in 1978. And back shortly after we had been married, we had a sense that God wanted us at some point to go into the area of foreign missions and to reach out to people outside of our geographic area.
So it's always an interesting ride for the vehicles because, as you can see, it's quite bumpy. We brought a group up here once in a small bus, and they got so freaked out by the road they all got out and walked. They were afraid the bus was going to tip over into the canyon down there. Waiting for the first video store, that hasn't hit yet. But there's already a small abarrotes, and there's now a little meat store, and there's now a little granary for the animals.
And don't forget the local bar.
Yeah, and then there's the local bar.
Local bar. For all the guys hanging out after work.
What about the local bar?
Oh, it's just a little shack, but it seems like all the guys are hanging out there pretty frequently.
It's a sad truth. We've discovered in this community of the 200 families that probably 90% of the families have one member who abuses alcohol pretty significantly. We're going to see different parts of the community, and pretty much isolated the very far end of the community. From that point up into the hill, it's about 3 kilometers before you get to the next section called Flores Magon. And the road that we just came on, and a road that goes through a farm field that's also dirt and loose dirt, are the only 2 access points into the community. Here we are.
We came to Mexico in 1991. We lived and worked in the city of Juarez for 6 months. My wife attended a language school in Spanish, and I worked in the clinics, particularly in the dump. We found that we had a lot of opportunities to minister both medically and in the areas of community health care, and that was what we felt kind of drawn to. When we arrived in Mexico, all 4 of us, none of us spoke Spanish, and that was kind of a challenge in one sense, because having to move into the country and not knowing the language really forced us to, or culture, forced us to really seek how we could learn the language and how we could learn the culture. And I thought I'd be able to move into Mexico and learn it real quickly. That didn't happen. I'm still working through the learning of the language.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien.
All the streams flow as one river to wash away all here we see your time of jubilee is coming when young and old return to Jesus.
This is a newborn baby, and I always like to take a good look at them to see just their general health and any signs of problems or things that we can be looking for.
Oh, thank you.
This is a really exciting thing for us because this is the 4th child here, and her other 3 children were fed by bottle. And it's a thing here on the border where women, even though they're extremely poor, will want to feed by bottle, which is hard on the babies, it's expensive on the families, it gives a lot of affection to the children.
Mande, felicidades.
When we first began our work in Tijuana with medical clinics particularly, we had the strangest reaction of people. We would go into the communities and we would take medical teams and to do mobile clinics. And they would come and they would say, okay, we're here for the services, we're here for the medicines, give us the stuff, thank you very much, have a good day. And it was real frustrating to me because first off, we could see that a lot of the problems that people were having related to their health were more related to basic things. But at the same time, they were not real willing to let us into their lives. And as I began to pray and examine, it was actually a crisis for me of faith. It was like, what's going on here? Why are people, they're nice, I mean, they're polite, but why are they not opening their lives? And it sort of felt like, you know, maybe we're going about this the wrong way. This kind of come in like the great white missionary, you know, hope and set up our thing and do our big deal and then leave the community, and then they wouldn't see us again. And to be honest, it really bothered me. I felt like God gave us a real clear direction when we shifted to the community health care. And at first it was philosophic, but it became very real to us, and like in the community of Granjas, where we've been working now there for almost 3 years. We're there 1 to 2 days a week in the community. And not just we come in and we set up a little program and people come out and they sit there and they say thank you and they leave, but we're going house to house and we're involved in people's lives and drinking a soda at the store and talking to the people that are there and walking up and down the street, and a lot of it's very time consuming and it doesn't seem like it's producing much. But the thing that we found is that we've been able to begin to relate to people because they've gotten to know us. They know that we live here in Mexico, that we want to be here. It's not a chore for us. That we want to be with them, that we value and esteem them, even that we trust them. And they begin to trust us. And little by little, over the last year to year and a half, we've seen more fruit of that. Is that because we've been there, and we've tried to back up our words with our actions, and we've tried to back up our actions with our words, that they've let us into their lives. Not only do they bring us their sick children and ask us to help them when there's a crisis or a difficulty, but we sit around their table and drink coffee and we talk about their problems, we talk about their struggles, we talk about their victories. And we're sort of like we're on the inside, and we're beginning to see some profound change in the lives of people, both spiritually and physically.